Hello, 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 welcome back to another trek through the dungeon. It is almost midnight. No, it is past midnight, and it's like, what the fuck, why not try a run? So, I decided to try an Ogre again. Um, I'm debating between doing a build that should work, the Ogre Hunter, a build that I don't know how to make work, the Ogre Wizard, or just going Ogre Fighter and just dealing with it. And you know what, as tempted as I am to go Ogre Wizard, I just know that's going to be frustrating. So we're going to go Ogre Hunter. Large rocks, of course, is the only weapon. And my name today is going to be Grugg. In maintaining my naming convention for ogres that end in ug. First things first, we are going to try a focus on fighting and throwing. And the key thing is we're going to max fighting skill as fast as we can for the sake of longevity of my character, because that's my big defense. Our hope is to find an altar to a good militant god of some kind, and holy crap, we're gonna die to a gecko if we don't go all out. Find an altar to a good militant god of some kind, and then go nuts with him. So we'll see how that pans out. I wonder if Machleb still gives... Ooh, sweet. Yes. Pick up the Dagger of Returning. And quiver it. We now have a new item to throw at people. Well, that guy successfully dodged a lot. Okay, so far so good. No idea what that is. Boom, boom, boom. But yeah, we're pretty effective thus far, with this dagger. And the reason I'm using the Dagger of Returning is because I want to preserve rocks for, significant threats. It's a stupid idea, because, you know, I should be fine either way, but whatever. Dex of 10 is pretty strong by itself, so we're just going to focus on strength initially. Get up to snuff for that rock throwing and the rock damage. Speaking of rocks, here's some stones that we have quivered now. So, we can just use those. You know what? What does capital F do? Capital F lets me look through my list of items to decide which to throw, and F throws whatever is currently quivered, and I can go F star, Fi for the same effect as capital F. I'm going to set a macro that from now on the F key should do F period. So when I hit F, it should automatically, fire at the nearest enemy. Yeah, that's going to save me some time, actually. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Excellent. And then I can use capital F if I ever actually need to use the full functionality of the throwing key. Actually, what would be better is to set capital F to do what lowercase f does, since the biggest thing I'm going to want to do is actually aim at a specific enemy. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, we're in deep shit. Quiver heavy rocks, because we need to kill this thing fast and take it down. And go back to quivering stones. Gotta remember, the reason I treat that as such a dangerous situation is with no means of healing. It's pretty easy for a basic kobold even to become lethal. Cute little kobold thought that he could beat me in a rock throwing competition. I'm a fucking ogre. Yeah, but see, that's the more expected outcome with snakes, that I will just dominate them. Also, before I forget, turn on large rocks as a pickup item. I desire to pick those up whenever I cross them. Javelins, too, actually. Javelins are really excellent throwing items. Boasting good enough accuracy ratios that they even work for untrained throwing. Okay, switch to large rocks since the snake is upon us. Switch back to small rocks since it worked. Da, 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 da. Now, it is notable that jellies are affected, or sorry, are not able to swallow rocks. So, that's kind of cool. But I should have recognized the danger of that jelly ahead of time and switched to big rocks sooner. Even if I had to use the big rocks on the small enemy because of the danger of the jelly posed. I did not, and that was my mistake. It's a big part of building the instinct, as I've called it in a previous video. Learning what is a dangerous threat to the character archetype you're playing early and when, and what level of threat you need to assign in your mind to each enemy. And again, it comes down to a matter of you don't have an instinct for it until you've played it a bunch. There's a reason why I can instinctively know how much I can get away with it with a deep elf. Closing the door and running until it's all in a nice horizontal line, and then choosing to fire rocks all the way past the majority of the orcs, so that I'm almost guaranteed to hit at least one of them. Okay, quivering large rocks because this is getting dangerous. Take them all down. Now, searching for a mace. There's an orcish one right here. Excellent. Wielding that as opposed to this dagger. It is cursed, so checking for a remove curse of some kind. No remove curse. This is a dangerous situation wherein I could starve to death. So, we are now on a clock. We need to move quickly to keep finding new scrolls. And that means I don't have as much time as I would normally to fight random orcs. Okay, there's the remove curse. We are fine for the moment. Further, let us begin training maces and flails, because +3 aptitudes. The bulk of our focus will remain on our defensive stat, which is fighting. 3 schools, with only one of them being a negative, is certainly an acceptable ratio. And we can of course eat rotting flesh, because ogre. Oh yeah, please quiver me back my ordinary stones. Until I find a second batch of, okay, multi-orcs. This is a good place to be trying to fight them. We're gonna quiver up the large rocks and let the priest or the wizard get into close to melee range before nailing him. Okay, you are not a threat, so we're gonna switch to the mace and pound you with it. Quiver up the small rocks too. Quiver up the large rocks for the incoming priest. Nailed. Quiver up the small rocks. Make sure to leave plenty of room. Make sure that I'm throwing past as many enemies as possible, so that if it misses, it likely hits at least one of the enemies on the way. Okay, butcher me a corpse, and keep moving. This is probably a negative mace, all things considered. Generally, cursed items aren't that good. I'll wait till it identifies or I find a glowing new one to try out. That scare with the remove curse has me nervous about randomly trying maces. Okay, that's an altar of Zin. I'd rather not follow Zin, so forget it. He's not a very good warrior god. Or physical fighter god. Really, your choices are Trog and OgHu for the kind of build I'm running here. We'll try large rocks. Unfortunately, I got poisoned, but whatever. He went down pretty fast, and I am admittedly overreacting to poison. I'm used to playing low HP characters on whom it's a much more significant concern. A high HP ogre is at a lot less risk of death, imminent risk of death from just being poisoned. Quiver me some large rocks. Pummeled. This time we're going to go Dex, and again, this is another advantage of being an ogre. You gain EXP pretty fast, and you're guaranteed a strength upgrade per level, per 3 levels, rather than it being random and per 4 levels. Or, you know, from a set and every 4 levels, so you can reliably expect your strength to grow very well. I forgot to eliminate my previous ghost. That was unfortunate. Well, he died, but normally I always get rid of my ghosts, so yeah. I should have gotten rid of him. My attitude is that if you selectively keep ghosts, you can potentially game the system, but if you get rid of all your ghosts, it's like playing off of a clean slate every time. It doesn't work for online, obviously, because online part of the fun is that you're up against all the ghosts of all the other players. But for the purposes of your own personal run, it works just fine. Alright, I'm going to take a chance on a... Damn it! It's cursed as well. Yeah, my previous one was -3, -2. It was a shitty maze. Alright, well, we do know what the remove curse looks like, so let's go looking for it. And we'll bear in mind the possibility of finding... Maghleb is something of a fighter god, yeah. He accepts blood sacrifices. That's certainly something. He likes killing in his name. I don't think he ever gives you any sacrifices items. Oh, crap. Sigmund. Quiver. Threw a net at him and just beat the crap out of him. Lost me a rock, but it was worth it. Alright, eat a rotting chunk, but now we are on our last legs. Let us quickly read every other scroll in hopes of a +1. None to be found. Okay. If this run ends, it ends. There's nothing I can do about it. I shouldn't have picked up a random thing knowing full well the risks, but I took the risk. And, I'll just have to rely on the fact that Remove Curse is one of the most common... There it is. There's a +1. Which got me into an uncursed state. It's still a shitty weapon, though. Quickly switch to large rocks before going all out against the Ogre. Whoa, that's a GSC. That's the Giant Spike Club. That's the one I want. Wield me that. +0/+0. Excellent. Drop the short sword. Keep the mace. I will eventually want to use the mace. I mean, my attack speed is really not acceptable with this, frankly. I can't really use this weapon yet. But I'll get to the point where I can. That's a lot of enemies, so back off. You know what? You guys are throwing spears at me for some reason. I'm gonna wield that spear and use it against you. Not very dexterous, but clearly doesn't matter. You know, flails and maces are, like, in the same category, so I should have some flail skill. And that's an AC plus flail. And a 2/3, which is nice. +2 accuracy, +9 damage. My attack speed should be excellent right now. Well, quite slow. Okay, yeah, so this is not bad for while I'm training it. Let's get throwing up to 7. And also, the reason I'm picking up all these spears is for the sake of throwing them. 3/3 spears are quite, you know, that's quite a reasonable level of power. Okay, you asshole, stop blinking. That wand I picked up, what does it do? Wand of Flame. How nice. This is very dangerous. Pick up a large rock and finish an opponent. That one. Now we'll just take you out, and it's suddenly less dangerous. Yeah, I've decided I'm going for OgHu for this run. I don't know when I made that decision, but stick with what you know, especially when playing a build you don't know, on a style you don't know, on a character you don't understand. Yeah, I left some stones behind. Let's go pick those up. Nope. It's not here. Go back to the stones. I don't intend to set an auto pickup on stones, because I know for a fact I'm going to stop using them after a point, but that point isn't yet. Toss a net on him and just beat him up. Didn't want to get poisoned, so the net seemed like a good precaution. Especially since the rocks were clearly not going to do him in. Okay, definitely a case of use a net. The net fell apart pretty quick. Go back to the stones. Boom. There goes the rot. You may be a phantom, but you take damage from rocks just like everybody else. Okay, maybe not quite like everybody else. Everybody else takes it faster. Alright, eat the rotten meat. And next floor. We are on the... Okay, no, there's still more room for the Ecumenical Temple to spawn later. I'm nervous about throwing a rock there because I won't get it back most likely for a while. Let's hurl some spears instead. Dagger of Returning. Dagger of Returning. Now I'm beginning to get a little more comfortable with just how many orcs I'm likely to deal with. Yeah, this should potentially hit, yup, the intervening orc. The one who went invisible. Auto pickup back on. Butcher this corpse. Knock you out. Doan is the target I would rather take down, so heavy rocks immediately. At least one of them went down. I think both of them went down, actually. Let me double check. Yep, they both went down to giant rocks. It was very important to me to kill them quickly, because once you kill one, the other becomes super, goes Super Saiyan mode. Again, I want you guys to notice, I've been very liberal in my use of rocks, and it doesn't tend to backfire, because the mulch chance is so darn low. That's the key. Grinder. He's definitely a case of use big rocks. High DPS, kill him quickly. If you get that paralyze off, it's gonna hurt. Let's go ahead and ID some of these items of mine. Ring, Mephitic Cloud. I am capable of learning it. Not really capable of using it, but I am capable of learning it. Okay, it is memorized. If I can get it to 30% fail, it will be a backup source of protection, since I don't use my MP for anything else. But obviously, that same logic won't apply to Conjure Flame, since that needs to work exactly when you cast it. 1, 2, boom. High DPS, that's the goal with these rocks. Use them for the high DPS situations. DPS means damage per second. I guess it's not necessarily an appropriate term. It's like damage per round would be better, but you know. Hold over from playing other kinds of games. Pick out a net you, and just beat you up. Have I left behind nets? I have. Let's go grab that last net. I obviously have not properly appreciated just how, when you are a thrower, it behooves you to pick up throwing items. And for God's sakes, at least quiver my stones. Net. Yeah, and the other side of this is once I hit the temple and have piety to decay, long trips like this become actually more penalizing, so I wouldn't do. Please don't be gone. Okay. Given the kinds of enemies you fight in here, I should be okay with just straight up melee combat. Low-level zombies are not that scary. Medium-level zombies are a little scarier. Okay, but that's a lot of frigging mummies, actually. A lot of frigging mummies. Oh, but I have a Wand of Flame. Flame should really hurt them, so... Okay, I neglected to think this through. Mummies means curses. Curses means my items get cursed. My items being cursed means my mace gets cursed. And my mace gets cursed means at risk of starvation again. Granted, the existence of permafood makes this less likely to actually go all the way. This is going to be a recharge or a enchant armor. My armor isn't worth enchanting right now, so we will check for recharge. It was a recharge. Excellent. Could actually potentially be useful later on. Like right now, when there's another mummy. We're just going to start by throwing rocks at it until it gets to melee range, and then we'll just hit it. My whole inventory is getting cursed. It's very, very bad situation for me. I really am going to need a nice... Do I have anything uncursed? go ahead and drop some of these items that I could potentially want. Those are already cursed, so they don't matter. Okay, very good. Now, begin torching. What? My current weapon wasn't cursed yet? How did I not notice that? Shit. Okay. Yes, Mummy's vulnerability to fire is something I'm definitely exploiting right about now. You know what? High DPS. Just finish these things. Thank you. Quiver me the stones. Okay, that's all of them. I am actually starving, so time for a ration of some kind. Pick up the few items I actually did notice weren't cursed. And plunder. God help me if these are all negative potions or something, but this is a lot of plunder. More than I'm used to be certain. Given the number of mummies I had to face here, which was way more than I'm used to, I would say I've earned it. A scroll of remove curse, 2 scrolls of remove curse. Okay, so no longer a lethal scenario, which is good. We are going to identify a couple of these potions, just because tombs are notorious for giving you bad potions. Case in point. Let's ID the one that I have 3 of and 5 of. Okay, I have all my heal potions ID'd. I'm gonna blow one more ID, but I'm gonna save the rest. Perfect. Actually, Potion of Brilliance could prove to be useful in a pinch now that I have Mephitic Cloud. If it gets it low enough to be castable, that would be great. Or high enough to be castable, whichever direction you're going. And if I'm not using this this ring cloth for anything else, I might as well wear it. I'm debating whether or not I need to uncurse. I think I do need to uncurse at least once. Yeah, I do. I'm wearing the maximum number of cursed things at the same time. I can drop this animal skin that I no longer use. And remove curse, baby. Okay, the Giant Spike Club is still cursed. But seeing as to how I'm not even using it yet, I will hold off on uncursing it for later. For a second, I had this terrible mental image that I had forgotten to pick up my large rocks. That would have been devastating. One more bout of strength. I want to get my Giant Spike Club up to snuff, and that will take a lot of strength to be swift with. Damn wolf. Throw stones after it as it retreats. So far, I'm not gonna lie to you, the Ogre is running pretty darn much on autopilot. He's, there's a few interesting decisions you need to make, but only a few. Go ahead and grab a handful of darts. I don't think we'll ever use it, but never know. Still have not found the ecumenical temple, so this is officially a late temple as far as I'm concerned, not an early temple. Or even medium-sized temple. It would be, obviously, for a run like this, it's a huge advantage to get a nice early temple. Get some OgHu piety up and running nice and early, and earlier OgHu piety means earlier weapon gifts, so that you don't have to worry about using high DPS stones when it counts. Get nice and close, net him, whoops. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna switch to the, oh, no, that's cursed, never mind. Just continue to do what you're doing, throwing stuff at him. Get to a safe distance before eating hound flesh, and then just keep pummeling him. Oh, wow, it switched out because my net ripped. Or my dagger left my pack and didn't come back. Jesus Christ, talk about good armor. Oh, it rips the net up. I wonder if there's a way to tell the game, try and preserve the net. I know smaller creatures or more dexterous creatures tend to manage to slip out of it, but I don't know if it's random or not. Yes, I went for DPS against him because I didn't want him to go invisible again. For higher DPS rocks, I should, specify. Obviously, went for damage per second. He's an enemy, isn't he? Alrighty, what next? Okay, this looks like an ecumenical. Yep. That green glass is generally a dungeon feature. OgHu altar, pray, worship, off we go. Now, we're going to utilize consistent blood sacrifices to get my piety up. Course. Very liberal in my use of this fire wand since it's the only one I have. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and recharge it yet again. I wonder if that... Yeah, that gets rid of the fired count. At 13 zaps, you've got to believe that there's enough room to recharge it. Stones... Egypt this deep in is not scary, but totally going to sacrifice his corpse. Because, named unique. OgHu cares about the hit dice of your kill, so if you have an option, eat rats and give him iguanas, for example. Of course, when you don't need it, then just give him everything. More stones, that's great. Is that an ordinary spear? No, that's an elven spear, okay. Oh, wow, that's a lot of them. We are going to back off to a safe distance. Switch to high damage weapons and start pelting them. And then sack all 3 corpses. Switch back to stones. We are good. More remove curse. Excellent, excellent. Your attack speed is still below average. Well, that's to be expected, given that I'm triple training. We're going to be throwing off eventually, but not yet. The goal with raising fighting is to have a high DPS solution to significant problems, and that has paid off in spades so far. Pull 1 and then get out. We don't have to fight all of them, so we won't. Different exit, please. Stones, sacrifice, stones. Oh, we're just gonna beat you up. Excellent. Stones. It is also a bit of a luxury to not have to melee every single enemy you come across. Especially without some consistent means of disabling or getting your health back or blinking / spriggan speed running away to safety. If you have no insurance that when a fight goes south you can change your mind. Okay, now that I have javelins I'm going to lose darts. But yeah, if you have no insurance that when a fight goes south you can change your mind, you're setting yourself up for being screwed eventually. Spriggans, so the one time it hits, well, this was the first time, gotta make sure it kills him. Also, given that there's so much food here, I'm just gonna sacrifice the corpse. Cursed robe, you've gotta be f***ing kidding me. MR is not important enough to me to blow a curse scroll on just the robe. But that's not what I'm trying to do at all. Let's see if there's a new mace or flail that I've left behind. Pardon me. No, nothing of consequence. Interestingly enough, my attack speed is still below average with this, which is a pain considering that what is this, 150% delay? Yeah, so the Giant Spy Club is going to be much, much worse. I want to alert the Centaur to me, so I'll shout a couple times. Okay, there we go. Now he knows. Come at me, bro. Quiver the big rocks. Definitely. Definitely take the time to set this up right. I want to shoot past my target to the Centaur. Okay, kill the Centaur, which is good. I still have a large rock left, so kill the... Okay, that's everything I can afford to kill right now. Grab a rock, though. Don't want to leave without my rocks. But then get out of range of the smites. Nail it with the rocks. You kidding me? There's still more? I can't afford to use a rock on this guy, so switch to javelins and nail him with a javelin. Switch back to rocks. Okay, now I have to use javelins. Nail him with the javelin. Sacrifice todos. But you're near starving. Doesn't matter. I've picked up so many rations at this point. I'm just going to eat a ration and preserve the... and use bodies for piety. ID the ring. Oh, regen ring. Excellent. Test read some random scrolls. Blink scroll. Hi there. I just stabbed with my friggin' club. Well, flail, so not as insane. We need to get out of here because there's a slime behind many enemies. So, pull. Javelins to finish off whatever's still here. Javelins mulch pretty quickly, but shit, the slime came with me. I think I can kill these guys even though they're all at melee range. So, first the slime. Then javelin the kobold. Or just javelin everyone. Yeah, okay. The key to making that fight work was the knowledge that the slime was the only one there that could actually hurt me. And that in order to do so, he needed... that my first attack should be able to kill him. I'm realizing that a mistake I've previously made is trying to utilize an inaccurate attack up front. You should focus on using your accurate attack first and switching over to it later. The inaccurate one later. By which I mean my DPS is best served using throwing weapons. I don't have my large rocks. But I do have regen, so this should be okay. My robe is now a -1 robe. So all the more reason to try and switch over to a real robe. We're gonna go ahead and try the other way down. I've already been there, so it's the previously marked staircase. That one. Oh, no wonder I bailed. 2 rocks takes out an ogre. Let's try out this giant spike club. It is uncursed. Okay, so we'll drop the cursed one. Actually, no, here's what we're going to do. We're going to wield the cursed one on purpose. Yes, I know, stupid idea, but bear with me. Remove curse. That will purge it, just on the off chance that it ends up being a better weapon than my uncursed one. Attack speed is quite slow versus with the flail, attack speed is below average. So we'll stick with the flail for the moment. More accurate, more likely to hit. We'll drop the cursed mace as well, since I don't need it. Yes, and then put on the real robe to significantly bolster my AC. I need to test all of my new wands. You. Goblin. Oh, that's a centaur. Shit, where did you come from? Well, I don't know where you came from, but I know where you went. To hell. Spear. Sacrifice. Wow, I just hit a goblin with a flail. I feel badass. Okay, that's a clear of the area. What was I thinking? I had something in mind. Oh yes, to try all my wands out, which I didn't get around to. Do I have ID scrolls? I do. Let's begin by IDing some of these potion stacks. Well, we got the mutation potion. And now that we figured that one out, I'm feeling more okay about just mass drinking everything else. Gain dex. Yay! Agility. Berserk rage. Eat a ration and move on. So I'm definitely eating my way through rations pretty frivolously. But frankly, when I have 6 or 7, that's when I'll start worrying. Till then, piety gain is more important anyway. It's a very simple mechanism for pulling them. And sacrificing them promptly thereafter. Oh shit, that manticore could do me in. Quiver... What am I doing? Just, I have a projectile, so you make goddamn use of them. There we go. And naturally, OgHu will be satisfied by that. Pummel it with a big rock. I can't afford to have a centaur firing on me. I'm getting dangerously drawn into the middle of a large unknown floor. Let's quickly retreat to safety and pull an imp with me to take him out for good measure. While I'm up here... I have double brass rings. I'm curious what they are. Place levitation. Still don't know. Fine. See invisible. Okay, that's potentially helpful. Certainly helpful to know what it is. Anything quaffable? Sediment. Paralysis. Okay. Lose the -3 strength. Lose the degen. And just keep going. I'm not really taking care of my inventory yet, because I haven't settled on a final setup, as it were. Test your wands. Polymorph. And frost. Okay, so I am a master of all elements. Random. Cool. Grab this and then make a beeline for the exit. I want to pull the Gnoll Sergeant with me. He's down. He's sacrificed. I am healed. Finish the zombies. Steadily, I am making a transition towards using my melee weapon more and more. Okay, you guys, some of you will figure your way around the barrier and chase me down, hopefully. The Gnoll Shaman can almost certainly put me into stone, but I am wearing an MR plus item. Oh, shit. I'm in range of everything. Switching to rocks for, you know, because this is the thing. When you make a mistake, switch to your more... when I'm making a mistake, I am noticing that I do have backup. It's not like this is a one-shot pony that he made a mistake and now he's dead. No, I made a mistake, so rely on my massive health pool to begin to cover for it, and switch to my higher damage, but not necessarily infinite supply weapons. Is that a Spear of Returning? Nice. Quiver that shit. Okay, I'm being pelted in back, so switch to big rocks and take it out. Still have all 4 of those rocks, which is good. I'm getting to the point where I kind of wish I had more rocks. Again, you can buy rocks in stores, you can find them lying around, you can dip into shoals and pray that you find an convenient Cyclops, though that is a more risky prospect than I generally would be content to try. You know, you got options. Oh shit. They are netting me now. I'm going to run for it. All those nets are going to be great pickups later. God, this is a scary vault. They all have demon tridents already? That's just disturbing. Of poison? Good lord. Is this a demon trident of poison? Man, if I was going the more generic build, I would so switch to that. Frankly, that's a good enough weapon to get you through the entire lair. Hell, it might actually be a good enough weapon, even in its current form. +1 and 12 versus my flail of +2 and 9. 150% delay on my thing versus 130% on this. I'm betting untrained attack speed is quite slow. Okay, no, it's not quite as good. Below average. Yeah, it's a great weapon though. There's no question about it. Grab me a new net. I don't have very many of those. And drop some of the more shitty nets that I'm working with right now. Couple nets. Good. I'm so tempted to mutate myself. One thing, that potion is slowing. Okay. I thought, given how hard the vault was, maybe it was a really good one, and I should know what it is. Enchant weapon, scroll of acquirement. Huh. Read the scroll of acquirement. Always acquire armor is a maxim for a reason, but I want ammunition. Damn it! I was really hoping it was going to give me, like, awesome stuff. I'm so tempted to just test quaff this, but if I do, it might very well kill me. So, no go. Scroll of noise. Fearsome visage. Moving on. Looking good. Okay, so yeah, I clearly did not purge ghosts because there are several of them. I am going to prepare to dive. Actually. Just because I would rather take a random assortment I'm not aware of than a known assortment that looks scary. Can eat the rat and sacrifice the water moccasin. How are my trainings going? Once throwing hits 9, I might turn it off. Just for a while at least. Test this on, take it off if I don't like it. Ooh! Evocable Rage is actually not a bad property. It's actually a really good property if I'm willing to train evocation. How is my evocations? Oh no, it's terrible. Okay, so it's a 50-50. Shit! This door is heavily guarded. And I never got to go back downstairs because it was a dispersal weapon. The centaurs can certainly chase me down, so I'm going to initiate a teleport. Yeah, this is a much safer spot, quite honestly. Switching to large rocks and focus firing my ghost. Switching to javelins and continuing the fight against my ghost. Okay. What can I do that's going to blast him really hard? You know what I can do is heal wounds myself. A couple times. A couple times. What is he using? No idea, but it hurts like the odds Dickens. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna whip out my GSB. My Giant Spike Club. And go invisible, because I know for a fact I couldn't see invisible last time. Oh, he used Corona on me, though. There. Corona's faded. If he can't see invisible, he's going to get pummeled to death. Okay. There we go. Damn near forgot to use all of the tools at my disposal, and I burned through an unnecessarily large amount of cures because of that. So, you know, that's lesson number 1. When you're in a tight situation, take your hands off the keyboard and think. Okay, that's not lesson number 1. The 0th lesson of Crawl is you do not need to kill every enemy. Running is fine. And, this is pretty close to the 0th lesson. Come at me, bro. This is such a bad spot to make a stand. I have so little cover. Let's try and see if I can at least work my way towards a little bit more of a defensive position. Okay, so far so good. Generic arrows are fine. They don't scare me that much. This is where the centaurs were galloping. Shout to pull and then back off. Attack speed is still bad, but... Okay, you know what? Now that I've actually switched to the GSB, I need to focus train maces and flails for a little while. Turning off throwing. Gotta get this guy up to snuff. Can use all the accuracy boosts I can get on it. Steel sling bullets. Good God, that would be so sick if I was using slings. Steel is one of my favorite brands for the early to mid game. Alright, you know what? Pykel's men are coming. That's good. Pykel's men, not Pykel himself. At least near as I can tell. Wow, I apparently can't hit a fucking slave. Sacrifice all their bodies, and then hide. Bread ration is fine here. I feel bad that I'm using my rations as much as I am, but, you know, food was meant to be eaten. I forget who told me this, but I read once, maybe it was on the wiki, maybe nobody told me, that a good player knows not to waste food. A really good player knows to use it. I'm not a really good player, but I do aspire to be. Out of ammo with a rotting corpse on it, so not useful to me. Damn, I'm soaking up a lot of damage. I have no defensive stats at all. That's why I'm soaking up so much damage. The trivial amount of defense I had was from that protection weapon, which I'm no longer utilizing. Close the door, heal up, move on. This is a lot of them, so back off. Focus the most dangerous targets first. Do I have an ID? No. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm very tempted to just sink all of my scrolls into this club, but I'm in fact going to wait until OgHu has gifted me 2 or 3 weapons. I don't know that this is the right move, but I'm thinking that generally OgHu tends to gift you something that's somewhat more useful. Maybe it'll be branded at the very least. Shout! At the very least, it will be less of a trek up to 9-9 if I don't start at 0-0. And I'm very hopeful he won't give me negatively branded, or negatively enchanted stuff. Large rocks, crush you. Stones, peg you. Now what? No corpses? You're just a worm, so I'm just going to eat you. And that's a clear. I think I can still get piety out of orcs, so I'm going to clear some early orc floors, which is not the usual order I play in. Given the priest, I'm just going to get out for now. Yes, I'm still gaining piety off of orcs. That will not last forever, but it will last for now, so totally going to benefit from that. But normally OgHu doesn't accept low intensity kills, and orcs will pretty soon be just that, very low intensity for me to kill. I'm going to utilize heroism before I go in, because this is exactly what I was worried about. And as bold as I am, I know better than to try and take all those guys out at once. What I'm not too bold to do, though, is one of these. Heal up a little bit, and then go berserk. Oh, shit. That's just the most inopportune time. Activate a teleport and pray. I'm so on my last legs. Yeah, this is not just last legs. This is dead. Going invisible. This is my best bet at this point. Followed by healing immediately. The ward can still see me. And it's the one doing the most damage, so I'm going to attempt to kill it. Healing again. Nope. Death. Yeah, this is why I don't usually go into Orcish Mines until well after the lair. And I was just going to pick off some quick orcs. I didn't expect an orc knight. And then my berserk ran out right before I attacked it. So, just like last time, I got a bit overbold. Seems to me that ogres are very much viable early game. And given how my knowledge of minotaurs is, I'm sure that will translate reasonably to the mid game. The real trick, though, is not getting overbold. You're punished much more for mistakes than other classes would be. You have a lot less escape to you. And I guess that's appropriate for a player like myself who has played enough that they shouldn't be making these mistakes in the first place. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I will see you guys next time.